Louie T. Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 8 in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns taking on the New York Jets. And I said, after this game, why can't the Jets compete for a wild card in the AFC? Why not? 2 in a row? Starting to play some confident football? Oh yeah, they got Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. Never mind. We gonna break this game down. What a disappointing game for the Browns. You start out so well. You feel like you got it. I got so many thoughts about this game. We're gonna jump into this here in a second. But first, before we jump into anything, if this is your first time on the Louie Tee Network, welcome. And subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. We're changing the game over here on the Louie Tee Network, man. And we want you to be a part of that. So go ahead, hit that red subscribe button to become a part of the Louie Tee Network and help us change the game. That's what we're doing over here. And I want you to be a part of that. Also, I'm on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter now. For this particular video, no chat is available. So if you're watching and you want to have your voice heard, you're going to have to do it via Twitter using the hashtag LouieTeeLive. The chat is disabled because I set this stream for last night and I planned on doing it in the wee hours of the morning, and sleep said, no, you're not. So here we are, bright and early in the morning, and chat is not available. So if you want your voice heard for this game, gonna have to do it via Twitter. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter @InTheLabRoom. Use the hashtag LouieTeeLive. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead and give me the thumbs up there. So let's jump into this breakdown, man. I was so disappointed because I thought the Browns could win this game, and they started out so well in this game, and I thought this is the week. This is the week they get one. I don't know how many they're going to get this season, but let's just get off the schneid. Let's just get one. Let's not be an 0-16 team. Let's get one. I thought this was at least one. It wasn't. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. I don't know if these boys get one this year. You like to think that somebody's going to slip up and Cleveland's going to get one this season. They're not guaranteed anything, man. This was a game here to be won. The Jets are not a good football team. You got to find a way to win this game, and you didn't. And you were at home. It was wet. It was nasty. It was the perfect conditions to win a game, and you didn't. So I don't know. You can't get this one. I don't know who you're going to beat this year. Maybe somebody in the division you're going to jump up and sneak, being that they're family members, but I just don't know. I don't know who you're going to get. You lost to Miami, had those boys on the ropes, let them off the hook. You lose to the Jets. I don't see you beating the Bills. So I don't know who you get. You're not going to beat anybody in the NFC East. You already lost to the Redskins. You already lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't see you beating the Giants. You're not going to beat the Cowboys next week, most likely. Then all you got is divisional games after that. I just don't know if I see this Browns team finding a way to win any games this season. I don't. Let's see. Who are the last place teams in the other respective divisions? Chargers, and haven't played the Chargers yet this season. I don't believe you haven't. And who's the other division? AFC West just gave you the Chargers, and you played the AFC South, who was the Titans, and they already beat you this year. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't see. Let's get into this breakdown, man. This is disappointing. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. We're going to start with the likes for the road team, that being the New York Jets in this ball game. And I only had one like in the first half. The Jets did not do much well in the first half. The first half of this game was dominated by the Cleveland Browns. Bilal Powell's 35-yard touchdown run on 3rd and 10. It looked like a well-audibled play by Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was initially a pass. He sees that they're in a too-deep shell and a too-deep look. They're trying to play it a little soft. And so he checks to a run, and it was the right decision as Bilal Powell motors through the first wave of defenders, gets to the second wave. Brandon Marshall blocking a corner, turns around and gets a piece of the safety and basically springs Bilal Powell down the sidelines, who races to the end zone and gets in. You can't give that up. If you're the Browns, you can't give 35 yards up on 3rd and 10 for a touchdown. You can't do it. That can't happen. But it did. And that was the lone bright spot for the Jets in the first half. They were dominated thoroughly in the first half of this game. Browns' first half lights. Opening drive. 8 plays, 75 yards. Andrew Hawkins. Hawkins touchdown. And just like that, you're up 7-0. When you're an 0-7 team, you need to get off to a fast start. You need to get out of the blocks quickly for confidence reasons. Okay, when you're a team that's struggling, that doesn't have any wins, the last thing you want to do is fall behind in a game, because then confidence sinks to an all-time low, and your chances of winning and the likelihood of you pulling out a W after trailing slim to none when you don't know what it's like to come back and win. Hell, you just don't know what it's like to win, period. So in this particular instance, to get out to a 7-0 start, huge. With Josh McCown back under the center, you're thinking, okay, we got a veteran, knows the playbook, we can trust him, takes us right down the field. This is lovely. Hell, that leads me right into my next the 10-0 start to the game. Okay, you get another drive going, you get down the field, you get into field goal range, and now it's 10-0. This is the perfect start. Only thing that could have been better is 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown and a field goal, but nonetheless, you're up by 2 scores, double figures, 10-0. Have you been up? Yes, you've been up this big earlier in the season against the Ravens. But look, hasn't been many times you've been up by double figures this season by more than 1 score. You're up 10-0 on a bad Jets team. Here's your opportunity right here in front of you. Terrell Pryor, next like. He tore Darrelle Revis a new asshole in the first half of this game. Was just going to work on Revis. And he had opportunities in his second half, and McCown missed him on a deep ball that would have been a 70-yard touchdown. He had his way with Revis throughout the course of this game. And Terrell Pryor is a ball player, folks. You got something at receiver. The one thing I can say in seasons like this is you figure out what guys are football players and what guys are not. You find out who can help and who's dead weight in seasons like this. And Terrell Pryor, you have figured out that you have a football player in Terrell Pryor. He is, to me, a legit number 1 receiver in this league. He's got some fine-tuning to do. He's got to kind of carve off the rough edges, so to speak. He's still raw, which is a good thing because he hasn't even scratched the surface of what he could become in this league as a receiver. This is really his first year getting real reps at the receiver position after making a change from quarterback. This guy has the potential to be a big-time playmaker in this league, and he was giving it to Darrelle Revis in the first half of this game. You're up 20-7 at the half. Great field goal before the halftime break to get down there, add another 3 to give you a 20-7 lead. What more could you ask for? You're up big on the Jets. The Jets, again, not a team that scores a ton of points. They're not a very good team. You got every opportunity here in front of you. All you got to do is play 30 minutes of football just like you did in the first half, and you got your first win of the season. And then the second half happened. Let's get to the dislikes in the first half first, though. Pass interference on Calvin Pryor in the end zone on a 3rd down versus Gary Barnidge leads to a 1-yard Isaiah Kroll touchdown. If you're Pryor on 3rd down and 10, just look for the football. Just look for the football, man. It's Gary Barnidge. I understand that he can make plays. It's Gary Barnidge. Find the football. Don't interfere. Don't give them a freebie. Pass interference in the end zone means ball at the 1, which means Isaiah Kroll touchdown. Don't do that. Don't give up any freebies. Falling down 20-7 in the first half. not to the Browns. Don't give these guys any confidence. You're supposed to go in there and take confidence, not give it to them. You got lucky. Maybe you didn't get lucky. It's the Browns. So maybe you knew what you were doing. Maybe you said, look, they're the Browns. Let's just come out, play football in the second half. They'll come back down to earth. We're good. Let's just not make any mistakes. Let's play jet football and take care of the football, and we should be fine. They did that. They came out with a W in the second half. First half, dislikes for the Browns. Giving up 35-yard touchdown run on 3rd and 10. Look, come on, don't do it. Don't do it. If they got to kick a field goal from there, fine. Have at it. In those kind of conditions where it was misty, wet, 53 yards, I don't think that's something you want to try. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. If they get 7 yards on 3rd and 10, fine. Still 4th and 3. They want to kick that field goal from 46 or 45, cool. Knock yourself out. Don't give up 35 in a touchdown, no. No. You were up 10-0 at that time of the game. Don't give them any momentum. Don't do it. Terrell Pryor with a drop on 3rd down for as good as he was in the first half. That was a big drop. They were moving the football on that drive. He catches that football on 3rd and let's call it 7 for 11. And a first, they're past midfield into jet territory. They were moving the ball. Maybe that drive turns into some more points. Who knows? You'll never find out now because he dropped the football. Gotta have it. If you're going to be that guy, gotta have you make that catch. And I know ideal conditions, they were not in Cleveland on Sunday. I don't care. Catch the football. Let's go back to the Jets, and this time we go to the second half, back to the likes. A lot of likes for the Jets in the second half because this is where they made their hay in this football game. Quincy Enunwa breaking up a Jamar Taylor interception on the first possession of the second half. This was, to me, the play of the game. Right here. Doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Seems like a blip on the radar screen, but if you watch this game, to me, this was the play of the game. If Jamar Taylor, who had both hands on this football, is able to corral this interception, the Browns are going to win this game. It sets a bad tempo and tone for the second half for the Jets with the Ryan Fitzpatrick interception on literally the second play of the half. And the Browns get the football deep in Jets territory. It's everything the Browns wanted to happen to start this second half. Get a great start, get some points, really start to put the pressure on the Jets. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't handle pressure well. Instead, Quincy Enunwa fights for that football, rips it out, incomplete pass. The Jets would go on to march down the field and get in the end zone to score on the opening possession of the second half. Cut the deficit from 20-7 to 20-14. Huge, all caps, huge play by Quincy Enunwa, who would go on to score that touchdown on the opening drive of the second half to cut that lead to 20-14. So Quincy Enunwa's presence being felt in this ball game. Huge, huge play. The opening drive is the next like. After the near disaster of the interception, the Jets got it going, made some plays, converted on some critical third downs, get in the end zone. Quincy Enunwa breaking 4 tackles. The Browns have struggled all season to tackle. They struggled on this day again. Conditions weren't ideal for having your best tackling foot forward. Doesn't matter. Make the tackle. He broke too many tackles on that play en route to his 23-yard touchdown into the end zone. 4th and 1 conversion for a touchdown. Jets rolling the dice after another solid drive put together by Ryan Fitzpatrick and company. They get to a 4th and 1, and they give it to Matt Forte, who rumbles into the end zone on 4th and 1 from 4 yards out to give the Jets their first lead of the day at 21-20. They got even. They were leaving. They would never look back in this ball game. 2 Jet interceptions in the second half are on my likes list. Marcus Gilchrist with an interception of McCown, and also probably the interception that put the game away. Malden with an interception, a diving stab after Calvin Pryor broke up the pass deep in Browns territory. They would get a field goal there off of that turnover to push the lead out to 2 scores at 31-20 with less than 4 minutes left in the game. That was an absolute dagger. And finally, 24 unanswered points. The defense ratcheted up in the second half, forcing some turnovers and not allowing the Browns to score until literally seconds left in the game. 24 unanswered when you're down 20-7 at halftime. That's huge. Huge for a Jets team that has found it tough to score this season. Huge for a Jets team that, frankly, isn't very good. Huge for a Jets team that was struggling in the first half of this game to get anything going. To score 24 unanswered and win a game that you were supposed to win is a good sign for a Jets team trying to turn their season around. As far as the second half likes are concerned for the Browns, there aren't any. You're up 20-7 and you give up 24 unanswered. You can't get anything going offensively. You turn it over twice. The defense can't get any stops. Instead of forcing field goals, you're giving up touchdowns and you're giving up chunk plays, which we're going to get to here in a second. Just all bad in the second half. Even the late game management by Hugh Jackson was a farce. They're running the football down 2 scores with a timeout in their back pocket. What are you doing running? Throw the football. Make sure you're not wasting time. They literally botched the end of the game process as well, which Hugh Jackson is currently struggling with. He's done this on a number of occasions, including going for 2 against Tennessee a couple of weeks back, when you just needed to kick the extra point to extend the game. You're down 15. You don't go for 2 when you score your first touchdown. You kick the extra point to extend the game, and then you go for 2. Instead of going for 2 the first time around and not getting it, now you're down 2 scores again, and the game is essentially over. Hugh Jackson's still learning how to manage football games. He's not very good at that right now, and you saw it again in the latter stages of this game. You go to the dislikes in the second half for both teams. Jets, no dislikes in the second half. When you score 24 unanswered, when you force 2 turnovers, when you come roaring back and don't give up any second half points until literally seconds left in the game, you've done your job. You've done it well. The offense went out and executed, scored points, got in the end zone, scored touchdowns, more importantly, to really cut down that lead quickly and give them a chance to take the lead, which they did. And so there's nothing to dislike here. They got it done in the second half of this game. Meanwhile, for the Browns, there are some second half dislikes. Third down defense, I thought, was an atrocity in this game. They gave up too many third downs, and there were long down and distance situations. 3rd and 11s, 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 8s, and they're giving all of these up. It didn't really matter. Runs, pass, you name it, the Jets did it on 3rd down and found a way to convert versus this Browns defense. Big plays given up. I thought they were just decimated by big plays where the Browns on defense. I talked about the touchdown run on 3rd and 10 in the first half. You can't give that up to Bilal Powell for a touchdown. You got Brandon Marshall with a number of big catches in the second half. Quincy Enunwa with a number of big catches, including his 23-yard, 4 broken tackle touchdown grab. He had another catch where the safeties bite up on play action fake, and he catches a post on Jamar Taylor for about 50 some odd yards, leading to another score for the Jets. Too many big plays given up in this game. You want to win. You don't give up big plays. You make teams like the Jets earn it, and they didn't do that in this game. Missing Pryor for a touchdown. McCown has Terrell Pryor. Did he push off? Didn't he push off? Don't know, don't care. I do know this. He had 3 full steps on Darrelle Revis. If he catches it in stride, it's a walk-in 70-yard touchdown. Instead, he overshot him by about 1.5 yards on the play. When you're a quarterback in this league and a receiver is that open, that far down the field, you must hit him. Even if he has to wait on the football, you have to find a way to complete that pass. You'd love to hit him in stride and allow him to catch it and score, but at least get the yardage that's there by throwing that football so that he can catch it. None of those things were accomplished on that play. Missed opportunity for a Browns team that needed to stop the bleeding, giving up 24 unanswered points. That's the next dislike, 24 unanswered points. Hard to win in this league, no matter how big you're up. Hard to win in this league when you give up 24 unanswered. Hell, they could have been up 21 at halftime and they still lose this game if they give up 24 unanswered. You just can't do that in this league. You have to find a way to change the tide of the game. You got to find a way to stem that. They never did. Giving up 24 unanswered in the second half is a death sentence, and they fell victim and prey to that in the second half of this game. And McCown's 2 interceptions are the last dislike. You still were down by 8 with the shot in this game. You throw the interception. Great play by Pryor to break it up. Even better diving stab by Malden to get the interception, but can't make the mistakes that McCown made in the second half and expect your team to win, including throwing the football 4 yards behind his receiver, behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 4 yards when you were moving the football and had an opportunity to potentially get into field goal range on an early drive in the third quarter. That's the Browns season in a nutshell. When you think things couldn't possibly get any worse, they do. Browns lose this game 31-28. Banana in the tailpipe for both teams. For the Jets, this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't change anything. You're still the Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick is still your quarterback, and you're still a bad football team. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe because you've won 2 games in a row. Hey, you beat 2 teams in the worst division in all of football in the AFC North. Good for you. I'm not falling for that. You're still the Jets, and you're still a bad football team. As for the Browns, not falling for the banana in the tailpipe any longer that you're going to win a game this season. Until otherwise notified, you're going 0-16 this season. You had a great opportunity, up 20-7 at the halftime break, and you absolutely blew it. I don't see this team winning any games this season. And Hugh Jackson is horrible at managing the clock late in halves of games and managing down and distance and situational football, not knowing when to go for 2 and when to kick extra points, not knowing when to call timeouts. And I'm just at a loss right now with this Browns football team. You're probably going to sneak up. Conventional wisdom says you're going to sneak up on somebody and get a W at some point this season. But a lot of your best opportunities to do that have gone by the wayside. I just don't know who you're going to beat this season. Good luck. You're going to need it. But I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe with this Browns team any longer. I don't see them winning a game this season. Let's check Twitter to see if there are any comments on this game. Let's see. At Niles Betcher says, do you think the Browns will pick a quarterback in the next draft? Greetings from Germany. Greetings, my man. Do I think the Browns? I think right now the prevailing thought is yes. And I like Cody Kessler a lot, but I don't think they're confident in him being the future of the franchise at the quarterback position. I think the Browns' first order of business in the offseason will in fact be to draft a quarterback. As much as I'd like to say, hey, Cody Kessler can get it done, give him a shot, I think they're reserved with him being a backup in this league. I think they're going to go to the draft and try to find their next franchise quarterback. And it makes a lot of sense. They're struggling right now. They need a playmaker at the quarterback position. And I don't know if anybody on the roster right now is a playmaker at the quarterback position. So if I had to take a guess, I'd say yes. As of right now, quarterback is going to be number 1 on the grocery list of items needing to put in the cart for the Cleveland Browns in the offseason. And that is it as far as tweets. So that's going to do it for the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets on lockdown coverage. Jets get the win 31-28 after trailing 20-7 at the halftime break. Jets score 24 unanswered points, roar back and steal this game. Browns drop to 0-8 on the season. And frankly, I don't know where their win this season is going to come. Meanwhile, the Jets win their second in a row after starting 1-5. They're now 3-5. Maybe they're building something. Most likely, they're not. We'll see what happens moving forward. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I'm changing the game over here, one live feed at a time. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.